Greetings and welcome from Rocky Top. My name is Hannah Hodges, and I'm the Assistant Director of Strategic Outreach and Recruitment in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. I am so excited that you are here with me today, learning about the University of Tennessee application. Now, this video is for first-year students, so if you are a transfer student, stop right there, and I encourage you to go to transfer.utk.edu. That's a website that you will find information about the transfer application process, and you'll be able to connect with our amazing transfer center, and they'll be able to connect you with information about the application and how to make sure that your information from a previous institution is transferred over to the university. Now, if you are a first-year student or a freshman applying to the university, we're going to jump right into the application process and talk a little bit about what you need to do in order to make sure that you are fully equipped and complete all of your application steps. Now, the first thing I encourage you to do is go to utk.edu/admissions, and that is a way that you can connect with our Office of Admissions. Another way you can do it really quick is go to admissions.utk.edu. This is where you'll be able to connect with your admissions counselor and find someone who is specifically assigned to you to help you with the admissions process. You can connect with our counselors by going to tiny.utk.edu/UT counselor. Now, let's dive into the application process and learn a little bit more about how you can apply to the University of Tennessee. At the University of Tennessee, we have two different ways that you can apply. There is no preference for which one that you choose. We just encourage you to choose one and stick to it. The first way that you can apply is through our GoVols portal at govols.utk.edu. This portal allows you as a student to directly submit your application to UT. So if you're only applying to one school, which is the University of Tennessee, I encourage you to do that institutional application. If you're applying to multiple schools across the nation or within the state of Tennessee, I encourage you to go to submit the Common App. This is a common application where you submit the same basic information to different institutions, and then we'll be able to get that information and then supplement any information that you need for the specific institutions. With our Common App, you will submit that to the University of Tennessee, and we get the same information that we get on our institutional application. So, as I said, pick one and stick with it. Once you submit your application, then we'll receive the information and we'll be able to follow up with you on next steps. Now let's talk a little bit about the required materials for your application. The first required material is going to be a $75 application fee. That application fee or the fee waiver, if you apply for free and reduced lunch, if you are a flagship in-state high school, or if you have any kind of financial hardship, we're able to do the financial application fee. You're welcome to go to our website or ask your high school counselor, and they'll be able to get you more information about that. Now, while you're completing your application, there are some things that we are going to ask of you. The first thing that we're going to ask of you is to submit information about what you're involved in. We want to get to know you as a student. We want to get to know your academic profile. We want to get to know who you are, where you're from, what makes you you. And so in your application, you'll put all of that information and outline it for us to be able to get to know you. Now, you'll also, as you're doing the application, have a required essay. That application essay is the way that we'll get to know a little bit more about who you are, what you love to do, or why you want to come to the University of Tennessee. You have 7 different application prompts on the application. Whether you're doing the Common App or our institutional application, it's the same prompts. And that's the way that we as admissions counselors get to know who you are as we're reviewing your application. We'll also ask you to submit your standardized test scores. We are a test-required school, which means that you need to submit your ACT or SAT scores. But we are also a super score school. And that means that we will take the individual test scores or individual subject scores from each test that you take and be able to combine them in super score for you. So I encourage you to take the test, the ACT or the SAT, as many times as you can, and make sure that you are sending us all of the scores that you've taken so that we can super score those for you. Now, in addition to that, we also will have something once you submit your application called the Self-Reported Academic Record, or SAR for short. And this self-reported academic record is an electronic way that you will tell us your high school grades. That includes anything that you have taken as a maybe dual enrollment class, as an AP class, as an honors class. You will electronically submit that to us. And then at the very end, while you're completing your SAR, you'll take a snapshot of the paper or the unofficial transcript that you used to complete that SAR and send it in to us. This is our way of not requiring you to submit an official transcript for your application process. We'll use that SAR to electronically create a UT core GPA, which I'll talk about a little bit. Now, the next part of your application are optional parts. I highly recommend you to do the optional parts, but they are optional. And those include submitting any letters of recommendation or a supporting statement. The supporting statement is another way for us to get to know you. Maybe you've had an obstacle that hindered your academics in high school, or maybe you're super passionate about a major or the University of Tennessee. That's where we can get to know you a little bit more, and that's what you'll use that supporting statement for if you want to submit it. Now, the letters of recommendation, I encourage students to submit, especially if you're a student that's not great at bragging about yourself. Allow someone else to brag about you, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, a person that is in your community who supports you and knows you. Use them as your recommenders, and I encourage you to let them brag about you, brag about your accomplishments and how great you are and how you can be an attribute to the University of Tennessee community. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the core subjects that we use with the SAR to recalculate your GPA. There are 16 core subjects that we will use. Now, on the screen, you'll see that there are 4 Englishes, 4 maths, 3 sciences, and a host of different subjects that we will use to calculate that core GPA. If you are a student that maybe you've only taken 3 maths and you have not completed all 4, then what you'll do is we will be able to calculate your UT core GPA based on 15 of your courses instead of 16. So it does not at all hinder you, but I encourage you as you're completing your SAR, put in every single course that you've taken, and we'll be able to take the highest score in the scores in all of the subjects to calculate your core GPA. Now, in addition to that, there are some things that are really important for when we're recalculating your core GPA. One of them is if you've taken any AP, IB, dual enrollment, or any honors courses, those add an additional weight that you see on the screen. For honors courses, it adds a 0.5. For AP, IB, CLEP, or dual enrollment or Cambridge classes, those add a full additional point. For example, if you take a honors course and you get a B in it, then we may calculate that as a 3.0. But if it's honors, it would be calculated as a 3.5. So it'd give you that extra bump up. Now, when you're looking at all the core subjects, I encourage you again to let us know all the subjects that we've taken and put them on your SRAR, your SAR, self-reported academic record. So then we'll be able to recalculate your UT GPA. If we see any discrepancies between your transcript and your SAR, or we don't see any courses on there, then we'll send it back to you and allow you to send it back to us with corrections. Now let's talk a little bit about important dates. Our admissions deadlines are really important, and we want to make sure that you are fully aware of when you submit your application and when you'll be notified by the university of your admissions updates. The first deadline that I would love for you to know about is our November 1st early action deadline. This is a non-binding deadline, but it does allow you to be competitive and be qualified for some of our competitive admissions processes, including our honors programs, our competitive scholarships, and also you'll be considered for our merit-based scholarships. If you complete your application on or before November 1st, you then have until November 15th to complete your SAR, that self-reported academic record. Once you complete your application, we will give you an email or send you an email with instructions on how to complete that SAR. The second deadline that I encourage you to be familiar with is our December 16th regular admissions deadline. This is for students who maybe have missed that November 1st deadline, but are still interested in the University of Tennessee. You will then need to complete your SAR and all the additional information and submit it to the university by January 17th. We know there are holidays during that time and different celebrations, so we want to make sure that we give you ample time. So make sure that all of your information is in by January 17th. Once you do that, you can check our URL at tiny.utk.edu/FY dates for more information about all of the application deadline dates. Now, some important other dates include our University Honors Program. Our University Honors Program deadline is November 20th, and that allows you to complete your application in the essay for the University Honors Program if you're interested in being considered for honors. Once you have completed your application, we will notify you and continue to stay in contact with you about upcoming deadlines and information. In addition to that, there is also going to be decision release dates. The first one is going to be December 4th. This is for our students who have completed the early action application deadline by November 1st, and you will get your decision or some kind of update by December 4th. Now, in addition to that, for students who have applied and are not in state, you will also get a decision in December about your application. If you apply by our regular decision deadline, you will receive your admissions information and an update or an admissions decision by March 4th. All of this information is online, and so again, I encourage you to get that information and mark it on your calendars. Now, another important thing is the FAFSA, which is the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This is the way that universities get to know how much your family can afford to contribute to your education. If you are an in-state student and you want to use the HOPE scholarship, you must complete the FAFSA, which is Federal Application for Free Application for Federal Student Aid. And if you are an out-of-state student and you're interested in receiving any kind of federal student aid or loans or grants, we also encourage you to complete that FAFSA. If you have any questions about deadlines, when to complete your FAFSA, or the priority deadline to make sure that you are getting the information to the University of Tennessee, I encourage you to go to tiny.utk.edu/FAFSA, FAFSA. Now, I know that was a lot of information. I highly encourage you to come to the University of Tennessee, check out our beautiful campus. And as a fellow alumni, I highly encourage you to talk to other UT students, faculty, alumni, and get to know us. We would love to tell you about our University of Tennessee experience and help you to figure out if the University of Tennessee is right for you. If you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to contact your admissions counselor. And as always, go Vols.